Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andy, and welcome to this week's Team Kentucky Update. This week, we get to provide huge economic development news to close out what is going to be a very good year. It continues record breaking growth of existing businesses, and it's welcoming new ones to their new Kentucky home, where speed to market and the speed of business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. One thing these companies share is they want to find the right home for their business and for their families. And they have all come to find that Kentucky is that home. Since the beginning of my administration, we've now announced more than 1,000 new location and expansion projects, totaling a record $34 billion in announced investments and creating 57,500 new jobs. I learned that that is over $12 billion more than the next closest administration. And those numbers were before the great KEDFA meeting that occurred this morning. Today, 14 prospective new location and expansion projects were approved for an investment totaling $1.2 billion in potential projects that would create 900 full-time jobs across the Commonwealth. In addition, 75 businesses in 36 counties have also been approved for $723,000 in state support through the Kentucky Small Business Tax Credit. These projects will bring $3.4 million of additional investment and another 200 jobs. So what that means today is we're announcing $1.2 billion in new economic development investment and over 1,100 new jobs to close out the year. This means when we close the books on 2024, it will have been a very big year. Today's projects include Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky in Scott County, L2 Aviation Solutions in Boone County, ISCO Industries in Jefferson County, Cenas Fertilizer in Christian County, Dan-O Seasoning in Jefferson County, Flex Films USA in Hardin County, HBF Grading in Bullock County, MD Building Products in Jefferson County, Nexagen Communications in Campbell County, Pendleton Hills Inc. in Pendleton County, Greenville Manufacturing Kentucky in Muhlenberg County, Ingersoll Rand Industrial US Inc. in Taylor County, Toyo Seat USA Corporation in Fleming County, and Universe Corporation in Davis County. When you total that list, it's investments in 12 different Kentucky counties, investments in Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, Louisville, investments all over this state. That meets a promise. We were going to work to bring jobs to people instead of expecting people to drive an hour or more to jobs. It says that when we are intentional, we can bring opportunity all across this Commonwealth so a kid can grow up in any part of Kentucky dreaming as big as they want to dream, and then hopefully chase those dreams as close to home as they choose to stay. I want to start by highlighting a company that has been a crucial Team Kentucky partner for nearly 40 years. Just moments ago, Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky announced a $922 million investment to build a new advanced paint facility at its Georgetown plant. With not a lot of days left on the calendar, I'm proud to say this is officially Kentucky's largest economic development monetary investment of 2024. Incredible all on its own, it follows an already announced $1.3 billion investment that Toyota announced earlier this year at the Georgetown site to bring assembly of an all-new 3-row battery electric SUV to the market by 2026. Toyota's investment in Kentucky has now eclipsed $11 billion. That's since breaking ground in 1986. It is an incredible commitment to the Commonwealth and to our people. Thank you to the leaders at Toyota for believing in us, for believing in Kentucky. I had the honor of going to Tokyo and meeting Mr. Toyota, who talked about how important of an operation this is, how they view it as central to their operations. And remember, this Georgetown plant, the first plant in the U.S., is still the largest manufacturing facility for Toyota any place in the world. L2 Aviation is a comprehensive design, consulting, manufacturing, and engineering company that it just announced its first Kentucky locations. The two new facilities, including a hangar at CVG Airport in Boone County, represent a $12.2 million investment that's creating 250 Kentucky jobs. Our aviation and aerospace sector has seen tremendous growth in recent years, and this investment by L2 Aviation will not only add to that, but more importantly, bring hundreds of job opportunities to the northern Kentucky region. I want to thank the company's leadership for their commitment to Kentucky, and we want to welcome them to their new Kentucky home. Another company I want to highlight today is Sweden-based Cenis Fertilizer, which plans to locate a new $109.2 million production plant in Christian County. The operation will use recycled waste from battery production at the nearby Ascend Elements to produce near zero carbon fertilizer. It's also going to create another 65 full-time jobs in Christian County. Kentucky has worked hard to ensure that we see investment and job creation in every corner of the state. And let me tell you, Hopkinsville is real hot right now for these locations. It's generated a ton of interest and it's seeing a ton of new jobs. This investment from Cenis Fertilizer builds on the economic growth Christian County has seen in recent years. So we're really excited to welcome Cenis to their new Kentucky home. I'm also proud to recognize a Kentucky business that's taken a major step forward as Dano's Seasoning plans to invest nearly $2 million and create 30 good-paying jobs in a new office in Jefferson County. This investment will allow Dano's to build out a new office space and a test kitchen at a new location at Terra Crossing Boulevard in Louisville. The project is growing the company's Louisville presence, which includes its headquarters on Magisterial Drive. Kentucky's amazing success is built on thriving businesses like Dano's, reinvesting and creating more opportunities for our families. Today, we have Linda Nuss and I believe Celeste Stevenson from Dano's to talk about this great Kentucky company that is continuing to grow. Come on up. Congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
Please.
Thank you. We're really excited to be part of the economic development in Kentucky. We're extremely excited to move into our new location, which is going to be happening very soon, probably in January. We are looking forward to having a new studio kitchen where we'll film all of our Dano's recipe content, as well as develop our innovation, our R&D efforts. We're planning on developing implementing about 30 new positions over time that will help us drive growth in the next few years. We heard that the governor needed some Dano's in the mansion, although I heard that you already have some Dano's in the mansion.
We do, but we can never have too much.
There you go. These are our core blends here. We're really excited about Dan and his commitment to building this business in Kentucky. It is a Kentucky-born organization that he launched through the Kentucky State Fair, farmers markets. He really came up through that grassroots marketing effort. He also was instrumental during the COVID time period where he took advantage of the immense power of social media and really propelled the business in terms of financial growth through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we're going to continue that trajectory of growth in the next few years.
Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Tell Dan, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. He is always working. He was at the Derby this last year, handing out and showing seasoning all over Churchill Downs. ISCO Industries is a global provider of piping materials. It's another great Kentucky-based company that announced a significant project today. The company plans to locate a new facility on Johnstown Road in Louisville with a $12.75 million investment that's going to create 50 full-time jobs for Kentuckians. ISCO Industries has been a great Kentucky business for more than 60 years. And when a company that's been here this long expands, it means that they have faith in us, faith that's been earned through those years. Today, we have Mark Kirchdorfer to tell us a little bit more. He is the company's president. Mark? Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Governor.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. And yeah, thank you for the kind words and inviting us here today. We've been in business for over 60 years here in Kentucky. And this is where we have, got started and grown. And this is where we're continuing to invest to create a very bright future. A lot of you all may not know what ISCO Industries, who we are. And it's probably because our products are literally underground. So we are a global piping solutions company, and we specialize in the manufacturing of high-density polyethylene pipe systems. And our products are often used as the solutions to the world's energy and environmental problems. So, like the governor said, we are investing $12.7 million in a new operation in Louisville. And this will create 50 new full-time jobs for hardworking Kentuckians. And, you know, Louisville's skilled workforce, strategic location, strong partnerships really make it the ideal place for us to continue growing. We are thrilled to expand our fabrication capabilities, which are a core part of our business and critical to serving customers around the world. So we're deeply grateful for your support, Governor, in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And we want to thank Mayor Greenberg, GLI, and all the partners that have helped support this project. Thank you.
Thank you for the expansion.
Thank you.
I'm also excited to welcome the growth of Greenville Manufacturing Kentucky in Muhlenberg County. This is a provider of equipment and support services for the agriculture and biomass sectors. They are creating 250 new jobs in Muhlenberg County with a $16.2 million investment. It's also going to be the first company to locate in the Paradise Regional Industrial Park, and the project site was supported by $745,000 in state funding through the Kentucky Product Development Initiative. This project is an expansion and relocation from an existing facility in Greenville that currently employs 53 people. I'd like to give a special shout out to those employees who are gathered today for a Christmas luncheon and who are watching the live stream of today's press conference. To each of you all, thanks for your great work. Without hardworking employees that make a company profitable, this expansion would have never happened. So Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for the great Christmas gift to Muhlenberg County and to the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do for Kentucky. You are what make us the best destination for businesses, and you are the people that welcome new businesses to their new Kentucky home, or in this case, making a much bigger new Kentucky home for this company. We also saw continued progress in Kentucky's site development efforts as projects in Bell, Franklin, and Shelby counties were approved to receive $8 million in state funding in addition to local support. In Bell County, local leaders are looking to start site prep for the expansion of Flash Steelworks in Middlesboro. I've been to that facility myself. It's a very exciting opportunity in Bell County, where they will make some of the safest, strongest body armor that's made anywhere in the world. They even built the first part of the facility for expansion. This is what's going to help that. Next up, Franklin County has partnered with Anderson County on a regional project to create a new industrial park. We're going to hear about that in about 30 seconds. And leaders in Shelby County are looking to acquire land, make improvements, and build an access road in Shelbyville. I'm thrilled to see investments in 3 more projects across our state. They are crucial for always staying ahead, for always putting the work in, because if we want that next company, we got to get out there and hustle, and a good site is one of the best ways to bring them here. So today we have Franklin County Judge Executive Michael Moeller, Anderson County Judge Executive Aubrey Gritton to tell us a little bit more. And as they come up, let me just say we are seeing more cooperation between our county judges and between counties and regions than we ever have before. And this is really exciting. This is how we do better. This is how we bring in even more business. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Thank you very much, Governor.
Thank you.
So I am Michael Muller, Franklin County Judge Executive. I'm happy to be here. I want to thank the governor very much for everything he's doing for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. This project started prior to me taking this role, but I'm happy to say over the last 2 years, we've worked together with Anderson County, the city of Anderson, the city of Frankfort, to come together to try to create something special. I think people in our community don't really understand what it takes to run county government and how important it is to create more jobs. You know, our goal with all of this is to create more jobs, have more people in our community, to be able to have better amenities without raising taxes. So that's what's very important to us in Franklin County. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Aubrey Gritton, Judge Executive, and I appreciate working with them. I think it's going to be a great partnership.
This has been it's been a long time coming to say this is a once in a lifetime opportunity would be mistaken. This is a once in a millennium opportunity. Anderson County can't do something like this on their own. Franklin County may or may not be able to do this on their own, but we have partnered together. And like Judge said, you take Franklin County, take Anderson County, take City of Lawrenceburg, City of Frankfort. We all work under the same umbrella with Team Kentucky and our head coach, Governor Beshear, who partnered this. And thanks to him and his team and his cabinet, we had the announcement this morning. So we're on the cusp of something big. This is an opportunity, like Judge Miller was saying. We want to grow economic development opportunities in our communities without raising taxes. We want to take the burden off of the people and give the people what we call an opportunity. That opportunity comes in jobs. That opportunity comes in advancement, lifestyle. That's what we're doing. So excited to put this event together. Look forward to working with us in the future. This is huge for all of us. And again, Governor, thank you again.
Thank you.
For all your efforts and works on this. And woo, go Team Kentucky.
There we go. Thanks, Judge. Thank you. We all have been working together for 2 years on this one, but it's got such incredible potential. It actually already has interests. So very excited to see the good jobs that are going to come. And it's a recognition that regardless of what county you may put a facility in, though this one it would be both, the jobs come to the entire community. And seeing more regionalism and more folks working together in all parts of Kentucky has been really special. Less partisanship, less division than we see in the rest of the country. More just trying to move forward for all of our people. That's already a lot, but those weren't the only exciting things happening recently. Earlier this week, we announced Wayland Machine and Tool, a veteran and family-owned business, is investing $5.7 million to expand and relocate its Jefferson County operations. This project will create 30 new jobs for folks in the area. The company offers manual and precision milling and is relocating to the Bluegrass Commerce Park in Jeffersontown. We continue to see quality companies like Wayland Machine and Tool expanding to meet growing customer demand, and that is a recipe for long-term success in our economy. Today, we're joined by Patrick Malcor, CEO of Wayland, the parent and CEO of Wayland's parent company, Ajax Defense. Also, I think we have John Triplett, president of Wayland. Gentlemen, please join us. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Governor.
Absolutely. Podium's yours. Good to see you.
Thanks a lot for having us out here today to recognize this, what is a significant expansion of our important work that we do in the defense industrial base at Wayland that we have done for over 35 years. It's a major milestone for continued growth in our business, creation of jobs, and our commitment to increasing more advanced manufacturing in the defense industry here in Kentucky. As a veteran myself who started my career in Fort Knox, Kentucky, I'm glad to be back here in Kentucky, investing for the long term in the growth of our business and in the defense industrial base, and adding those valuable, really mission critical jobs for our warfighters around the world. So we think we appreciate the partnership with the state, with the city of Louisville, with Jefferson County, and everybody involved. And we'd like to present you with something, Governor John Triplett, our president.
On behalf of the employees of Wayland Machine, we'd like to present you with a representative round from a phalanx weapon system. Those systems, at least one is on every U.S. combatant ship in the Navy. So they're very well represented, and a lot of the parts and components for the phalanx system, as well as RAM, CRAM, naval strike missile systems, are all manufactured at Wayland Machine and Tools.
Right here in Kentucky.
Right here in Kentucky.
Pretty
Sure.
special.
Thank
Thank
you,
you all
sir.
for your service
Thank
and
you.
what you do.
Thank you.
And thanks for the jobs.
Thank you.
So we appreciate
Thank you.
y'all.
Thank you.
Also this week, we made an announcement that should make my kids happy. A new $100 million distribution center in Ellesmere for Chick-fil-A supply. The project is expected to create 178 full-time, well-paying jobs over 5 years. Roles include general manager and various leadership positions, drivers, navigators, warehouse team members, and maintenance technicians. Once again, an industry-leading company chooses Kentucky to locate and expand their business, which is a testament to all of the work that's being done by folks all over Kentucky to, again, bring people here and make this their new Kentucky home. Northern Kentuckians are welcoming Chick-fil-A to their new Kentucky home. And finally, just last week, we hosted a delegation from the German American Chamber of Commerce of the Midwest to showcase all of the advantages that Kentucky offers to companies considering new location and expansion projects. The delegation included 13 German-owned companies, as well as Germany's trade organization that took us around a major trade show when I was in Germany this last summer. The delegation included, they spent 3 days traveling the Commonwealth. They had the opportunity to meet with company and community leaders and other economic development partners. I want to thank the delegation from German American Chamber of Commerce of the Midwest. It was a good delegation. I believe we are going to get jobs and investment out of this visit. Next, we want to close the year with a little additional tax relief for some of our citizens. As governor, I'm laser focused on helping to bring down costs for Kentuckians. That's why we've lowered both income and property taxes during my administration. We also froze property taxes on vehicles for 2 years, froze the gas tax when it was the most expensive, and banned price gouging for an extended period of time when people were struggling. We're also helping folks save more money through the homestead tax exemption. This is one important way we can help seniors and other vulnerable Kentuckians stay in their Kentucky homes. Here's how it works. Eligible Kentuckians who claim this exemption will have their property taxes lowered. For the 2024 tax year, the maximum exemption will reduce the property value you pay in taxes by more than $46,000. Let's say your home's worth $200,000 with this exemption. You'd only have to pay taxes on $154,000 in property value. During the 2023 tax year, the exemption helped more than 474,000 elderly or disabled Kentuckians, and last year it saved them $293 million. To qualify, Kentuckians must be at least 65 years old or classified as totally disabled by any public or private retirement system. The assessed property must also be owned, occupied, and maintained as the individual's personal residence. You can learn more and apply on the Department of Revenue's website. The deadline to apply for the 2024 tax year is December 31st. So you don't have long. Again, if you qualify, take a look. This week, we also marked the 3-year anniversary of the Western Kentucky tornadoes that took the lives of 81 Kentuckians, 81 children of God on December 10th, 2021. I visited the region on Tuesday to remember those lost, each one still mourned by their community, by their family. They'll be forever missed, but my faith teaches me we will see them again. I was reminded of how I felt the moment I arrived at First Light after the storms, about how I stood outside that candle factory while heavy machinery tried to pick cars up off what used to be the factory floor, about how in that moment we thought there were still 100+ people trapped, and we kept hoping to hear the sound of one of the rescue dogs because the cadaver dogs would come next. But what we saw in that same moment is that our people are unbreakable. Neighbors had pulled each other from the rubble. I ran into a teenager from Dawson Springs that had spent the entire night pulling people from their homes. Volunteers were already jumping into action, helping family find clothes, basic supplies, emergency housing, even some who'd lost their homes themselves. We had an employee show up at Pennyrile to help work in the kitchen that didn't tell her supervisors until the middle of that first day that her home had been wiped out. So we made sure she had a place to stay there too. Local first responders worked around the clock, supported by the Kentucky State Police, Kentucky Emergency Management, Fish and Wildlife, and the Kentucky National Guard, the best National Guard in the country. I was extremely proud of all of our groups, from forestry that helped cut the trees blocking the road so emergency vehicles could get where they needed to go, to our Kentucky State Parks, which opened their doors and said, we've got you. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to worry about next week. We have a warm place for you to stay, and at least tonight and tomorrow and the next day, you can feel secure as we figure out how to move forward. Throughout this challenge, we stood together, shoulder to shoulder, neighbor helping neighbor. We leaned on Team Kentucky spirit, and now we are rebuilding stronger than ever because of the love and compassion of Kentuckians, and as well as the love and assistance that poured in from around the world. First on Tuesday, I plan to join His House Ministries Pastor Stephen Boykin and Mayor Kathy Onan in Mayfield for a remembrance ceremony and the dedication of 8 new homes. But like that moment 3 years before, we weren't able to land because of the weather due to unsafe travel conditions. 3 years before, it was because the tornado had gone through the airport. And I remember coming back 2 days later with the FEMA administrator, and the amazing guy who runs that airport said, I'm so sorry you couldn't land that morning. I gave him a hug, and I said, man, you're doing the very best you can, and you're making all of us proud, and the entire world stands with you. I get to see him every time I go back. Just special people who have stood up even in the toughest of times and made sure that that community rebounds. That 8 new homes now brings us to 50 homes in Mayfield, supported through the HOPE initiative with support from the Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund. And we are now 221 homes that have been built in Western Kentucky for tornado survivors from that fund. We then went to Gilbertsville, where I joined AT&T officials. So without being able to travel the way, I jumped in the car, and 3.5 hours later, got out of Gilbertsville, where I joined AT&T officials and local leaders to celebrate the company's $3 million investment in high-speed internet service that they are putting in since the tornadoes. The tornadoes knocked down all of our telecommunication ability in the region. I couldn't find out if my cousins in Dawson were alive or dead until I was there physically that next day. This is the most important infrastructure to get up as quickly as possible, whether that's first responders being able to communicate with each other or family members who are so worried about their loved ones. This is bringing fiber to this entire community in Marshall County. It's going to add 1,100 new residential and business locations in Gilbertsville. It's going to make sure if this region ever has to go through something like that again, there will be connectivity, and they will be able to reach the rest of the world to communicate their needs and to communicate their safety. When you've been through this personally, these are a big deal. These are a really big deal. It makes us more resilient at the same time that we're bringing the infrastructure of the present and of the future to each area of our Commonwealth. Getting it here is really important. Then I traveled to my family's hometown of Dawson Springs to visit the Tornado Memorial and observe a moment of silence. Brother Jeff said a prayer. My cousin, the mayor, gave some comments. And I stood not too far from where President Biden had come in, where in every direction you looked, it was just wreckage, a town that I knew every inch of, that I couldn't figure out where I was because of the chaos. As you stand there now in that park, you look around and you see new homes everywhere. Again, not just new homes, but new neighborhoods, brand new places that people not only call their home, but can stand up to just about whatever Mother Nature can throw at it. Now, that park we were in is the last piece for Dawson Springs. We still need to get that done, and work is going to start in the spring to rebuild the baseball fields, to rebuild the pool, to rebuild everything else that community needed, and I'm absolutely committed to getting that done. And at the end of the day, we ended with a Habitat for Humanity home dedication in Muhlenberg County, which is one of the most emotional experiences even 3 years after that I've had in this journey. This home was for the Oglesby family who tragically lost their 5-month-old son in the tornado. Yesterday, Andrew and Charity Oglesby said that Chase is remembered for his smile, his laugh, and the light he brought into his family's life. Yesterday, we got to wrap our arms around this family and celebrate their new beginning. If you want to talk about strong faith, Andrew and Charity, who had a spinal injury from the tornado, said God had chosen this same day that they had lost their 5-month-old 3 years later for this new home, because he wanted to make a tough and difficult day a little bit better for them. This home is the first home Habitat built in Muhlenberg County, but let me tell you, this is the city of Bremen. They love each other. They got after it so fast that they were already cleaning up and rebuilding with help even before federal funds and some of the habitat funds became available. I mean, I remember being there, 2 days in, 3 days in, and jumping up and talking to a guy in a dump truck. He was a teacher at the school, but the school was closed. And so he decided he wanted to help and ended up driving this giant dump truck to take the chaos out of the city of Bremen, which, given their number of people, had been through as much, if not more, than any other place through this tornado. They all knew not one, not two, but a number of people that had passed away because everybody in that community knows each other. So through tragedy and the most difficult of times, I hope some of these stories show that we continue to stand together and we are going to fulfill the promise of rebuilding every home and every life. This week's announcement built on the work that's been done over the years by local, state, and federal leaders, as well as nonprofit organizations and volunteers. Here are just a few of the rebuilding updates. We now have announced 75 private sector projects for a total investment of more than $3.3 billion and 5,113 new jobs in tornado-affected counties. See, when you've been through something like this, when it wipes out a large part of a town, you got to make sure you have the jobs there so that people stay there, so that they rebuild. And 5,113 new jobs is a good start to getting a lot of people to stay in communities that they love. The Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund raised over $52 million to pay for every funeral, including Chase's. And I didn't know what to say when they said thank you for that. After everything that they'd been through, they didn't need to do that. But these are incredible people who started, if you can go back, who started a charity for their son. See, Chase didn't get to his first Christmas, which is heartbreaking. And they want other kids to have great Christmases. So it's grown from a charity. I think in the first year they did it, it helped out about 3 people to now helping 36, I think, this Christmas. So anybody out there, we'll put on our social media a link to them and how to get involved. But you want to talk about a great family honoring that little kiddo in a really special way that helps others out. Pretty incredible story, but pretty incredible people. The West Kentucky State Aid for Emergency Fund has awarded $148 million to eligible cities, counties, public and nonprofit utilities, and schools for much needed support and repair. We've broken ground on a new city hall, police station, and fire station in Mayfield. We've worked with the Kentucky Housing Corporation to announce more than $223 million to build 953 affordable rental units for tornado-impacted communities. And we've also seen over $900 million in federal and private insurance funds to support families and communities over the past 3 years. Private insurance has paid out 16,688 tornado-related damage claims, totaling nearly $500 million. Nearly $16 million has been approved through FEMA's Individual Assistance Program for more than 2,300 applications. So yesterday, the 10th was pretty special. Hopefully we do it right each year to honor, 81 folks that are no longer with us. But I think each of them was looking down on each and every one of these communities, so proud of the work over 3 years that has helped rebuild places that these individuals loved and still love. All right, so building off that today, we have another weather-related update. Recently, President Biden granted a major disaster for the Commonwealth for Kentucky following Hurricane Helene. While we're blessed that there's no reports of anyone that was hurt due to this event, we are very blessed for that. We know many areas were affected, and this assistance will help move us forward. The declaration provides public assistance, not individual assistance to specific families, but public assistance funding for local governments and certain nonprofit organizations in 33 counties that are recovering from the remnants of the storm. Those counties are on the screen. These funds will support emergency work as well as repair or replacement of facilities damaged by the storm and projects that help reduce future risks. Kentuckians came together during the storm with resilience, compassion, and strength because that's what we do. I want to thank everybody for their support. And at the next Team Kentucky update, we will have an update because now all our transportation folks are back from North Carolina. I mean, they spent a significant amount of time, over 200 plus of our transportation workers enthusiastically headed towards an area that had been devastated because they know how it feels. and they wanted to pay forward what everybody had done for Kentucky. We'll get a recap of all of their great work. They came from all over our state, and I'm so proud of our people, and I'm so proud of that transportation cabinet for stepping up and doing everything that was asked and everything that we could. All right, right before Thanksgiving, I got to have a really great day celebrating 100 years of Kentucky State Parks. We traveled to Natural Bridge State Park, where we were joined by our incredible Parks team members, and we had a chance to hike and meet so many great people. We started by taking the chairlift with park naturalist Sam Evans. We were then joined by Ranger Darren Farmer to walk across the bridge. The view, by the way, Ranger Farmer was also a sheriff. He's given a lot of service to this Commonwealth. The view is breathtaking, from Natural Bridge. And if you haven't seen it, it's just one of the incredible, breathtaking views from our state parks. Along the way, we met so many great people, not just from Kentucky. I met visitors from 7 other states who traveled to see this natural phenomenon for themselves. And after our hike, we were joined by our friends at Against the Grain Brewery. Together, we unveiled the official Kentucky State Parks 100th anniversary lager, the first time we've had an official Parks beer. It was a great day in our new Kentucky home, celebrating one of our greatest natural assets that families have enjoyed for over 100 years. Places like Natural Bridge are the perfect example of what makes life in Kentucky so amazing. A big thank you to Sam Cruz and Against the Grain for partnering with us on this exciting project. They made a great beer and also committed 5% of each sale is going to go directly to improvements in our Kentucky State Parks. We appreciate that Team Kentucky spirit. You can purchase the official anniversary beer at participating state parks and retailers starting this month. We've got those locations on the screen. So during our park celebration, I got the chance to learn more about the Gorge from the incredible team. Folks, it's a beautiful spot just like all of our unique state parks around Kentucky. If you haven't visited one in a while or you're looking to return, you now have a chance. As you might remember, you can win a free 2-night stay at a Kentucky State Park by sharing positive photos on social media using the hashtag #NewKentuckyHome. I announced the giveaway last month when I unveiled Team Kentucky's New Kentucky Home Initiative. This is a comprehensive marketing effort that will reintroduce Kentucky to the world. It combines economic development, workforce, and tourism efforts. It takes how much we love where we're from and unleashes it on the world with an invitation to join. It's that next step to where a business owner looking to relocate can get an idea not just what business might be like here, but what it's like to live here. We love our lives in Kentucky, and this is our best opportunity through this initiative to show people how great it is. It's a chance to leave the stereotypes of the past in the past. And again, to talk about Kentucky as a place where business is fast, but the speed of life is just right. We want Kentuckians across the state to help us by sharing positive images on social media. This is your chance to market the things you love about Kentucky, to be an ambassador for Kentucky, to say we love Kentucky, and so will you. Come be a part of our New Kentucky home. So today I'm excited to announce our first winner, Kelly Davenport. Her photo captures Natural Bridge. What a coincidence, and shows one of the many reasons that our new Kentucky home stands out from the rest. Kelly, congratulations. Our team will reach out with details, so be on the lookout. Now, everyone still has a chance to win because we're drawing once a month through April of 2025. So get online and share your photos and tag New Kentucky Home for a chance to win. Let's keep showing the world that we love Kentucky, that we're from Kentucky, and we want to share what's special about us with the entire world. Next, we have some good news for our executive branch state employees. We've been working hard to support our Team Kentucky members and our Team Kentucky families. We're seeing record-breaking economic growth and creating good-paying jobs. We're making sure our families can pay their bills at the end of the month. Part of this work includes making sure that Kentucky is leading the way when it comes to our employee benefits. During my time as governor, we've now secured 4 of the largest across-the-board pay increases for our state employees who went decades without receiving a raise. This work's had a real impact that can be seen in our hiring and retention, especially in critical areas that have been really hard hit, but now more troopers we've had in a long time, more corrections officers than we've had in a long time. We're seeing improvement in our social workers. When you pay people closer to what they're worth, you get more people who are willing to do what they love. We've also started our Second Chance Employment Program, a paid internship program, leadership development programs, and announced first day health insurance for our employees. That took a long time to make happen, but I was one that 9 years ago had to wait a month hoping something wouldn't happen to members of my family. State employees also have a robust leave package that includes sick, compensatory, and annual leave. We're proud of the work we've done so far, but we want to do even more. We want to be an employer of choice. That's why I'm excited to announce, alongside with our great personnel cabinet, that we plan to file amendments to the Kentucky administrative regulations that'll make executive branch state employees eligible for 6 weeks of paid leave for welcoming a child to your home through birth, adoption, or foster care, as well as other qualifying serious health conditions. Employees will be eligible to receive 6 weeks of this type of leave at 3 intervals throughout their career. One day, one hire. The new employee will be eligible for 6 weeks of paid leave on day one. On day one, the new employee will be eligible for 6 weeks of paid leave. This leave may be utilized between day 1 and year 10 of employment. At 10 years of employment, an employee will be eligible for 6 weeks of paid leave to be used between year 10 and year 20. And at 20 years of employment, the employee will be eligible for 6 weeks of paid leave. That leave can be utilized from year 20 through the end of the career. Once everything is approved, this benefit will be available as early as summer of 2025. It is the right thing to do for our employees. We care about our employees, and we're going to keep fighting for you. I want to thank Personnel Cabinet Secretary Mary Elizabeth Bailey for her work on this, and I want to invite one of the main proponents that's pushed for it, Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, to come up and say a few words about this important benefit.
Thank you, Governor. The two of us we're very fortunate to get a front row seat to seeing the incredible work that our employees do every day. And as the governor said, our administration has worked to show them gratitude in tangible ways. Today's additional paid leave announcement is another example of that commitment. On Team Kentucky, we look out for one another. Through the good times and through the tough times, we have each other's back. And that has always started at the top. I've said a lot that Governor Beshear treats every Kentucky family like his own, and he does it with compassion and empathy. No one needs that more than a new mom or a patient who just got some not so great news. Ironically, I have been in both of those places while serving as your Lieutenant Governor. 2 months after taking the oath of office, I gave birth to Evelyn, so I know how critical those first days and weeks are to bonding with your newborn. And in 6 days, it will be exactly 1 year since my double mastectomy. So I know how important it is to focus on your health without having to worry about work. But just about everybody has a story like this. And if you don't, chances are you love someone who does, which is why I'm so happy that Governor Beshear has taken this important step with increasing paid leave. Now, the people who make Team Kentucky so special have one more benefit at work and one less barrier at home. This is about the well-being of our state workers. And Kentucky has a commissioner of the Department of Public Health who works towards the well-being of all Kentuckians every day. And Dr. Stack is here with us to give an update on the Healthy Kentucky Home program.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and good afternoon, Kentucky, and happy holidays. This month, we continue our journey to our Healthier Kentucky. And as you'll remember, the Our Healthy Kentucky Home campaign is a one-year initiative to promote simple, positive, and attainable goals to inspire and motivate Kentuckians on a journey to health and wellness. Through clear and achievable lifestyle changes, we are working together to ensure that every Kentuckian achieves better health and their full potential. During the month of December, the Our Healthy Kentucky Home campaign focuses on heart health. According to the CDC, more than 600,000 people nationwide die from heart disease each year. And as of 2023, heart disease is the leading cause of death among Kentuckians. By incorporating simple and achievable lifestyle changes into your daily routine, you have the power to improve your heart health. Choosing foods high in fiber, low in saturated and trans fats, and low in sodium can reduce your risk of heart disease. Also, consider using low sodium broths and less butter when cooking your favorite holiday meals. For appetizers, serve fruits and vegetables in place of fried foods, cookies, and breads. And one thing I've started doing to try to help hold myself accountable is tracking my own foods and activities on a calendar to help me plan and remain thoughtful in what I do and eat each day. I know it'll be hard, but put away the smartphones and tablets, at least for a while. Instead, focus on family, friends, conversation, and even games at parties and gatherings this holiday season. Studies have shown that people who are more socially connected tend to live both healthier and longer, reducing their risk for earlier death from all causes, including cardiovascular disease. Increasing your physical activity is another way to improve your heart health. Getting at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity 3 times per week can lower blood pressure, improve your cholesterol level, and lower your risk for heart disease. This holiday season can be a great time to take a stroll around the block with your loved ones or tour a local light or holiday display on foot. Through positive and achievable goals, together with family and friends, you have the power to improve not just your heart health, but the health of your loved ones as well. To learn more about heart health and more healthy habits you can incorporate into your daily routine this month, visit the Our Healthy Kentucky Home website at ourhealthykyhome.ky.gov. That's ourhealthykyhome.ky.gov. We'd also love to hear how you are personalizing the Our Healthy Kentucky Home campaign to meet your own personal circumstances by emailing us at ourhealthykyhome@ky.gov. Join us on our journey to a healthier Kentucky and give yourself the gift of a healthy heart this holiday season. And then I have one other item. I'm next happy to share progress we are making in helping Kentuckians find healthcare coverage. Open enrollment for a qualified health plan through Connect started on November 1st. And while the deadline to enroll is not until January 15th, over 85,000 Kentuckians have already enrolled in a plan. That's 20,000 more enrollees compared to this time last year. And the news is better still. In addition, at the end of last year's open enrollment, we reported nearly 75,000 employees or Kentuckians enrolled in a plan. That was our strongest open enrollment since Connect relaunched in 2021. And folks, we've already surpassed last year's total by more than 10,000, and we still have a full month to go. There have been extensive outreach efforts on the part of our connectors and insurance agents who are located in every county. Our goal is to provide Kentuckians easier access to health coverage so every Kentuckian can thrive and be well. No individual or family should ever be left uninsured. Financial assistance is available based on family size and income. This can help cover the costs of monthly premiums and out-of-pocket expenses. If you don't have health insurance coverage through an employer, Medicaid, Kentucky Children's Health Insurance Program, Medicare, or TRICARE, then you can enroll on a plan today at Connect. The deadline to enroll is January 15th, but don't wait. Kentuckians who enroll in a plan by midnight on December 15th can get full year coverage that starts January 1st. However, those who enroll after December 15th will have coverage that begins on February 1st. We have a team of connectors and insurance agents who are here to help you at no cost to you. They will guide you through the process of finding quality, affordable health coverage that's best suited for you and your family. So please, if you need assistance or if you are ready to enroll, please go to connect.ky.gov, that's KYNECT.ky.gov, or call 1-855-4CONNECT. That's also 1-855-459-6328. Thanks.
Having Dr. Stack here reminds us that we've been through a pandemic, tornadoes, floods, just about any challenge that you could imagine. And after getting through all that, we should want to be healthy and happy. And that's what his initiative is about. It's about making sure that we get as healthy as we can be to enjoy our time here on Earth, and that we make sure we put down those phones and tablets and get the social interaction we need to be happy. It is hard to live a happy life without healthcare coverage, and Connect for that is so important. And so I would just urge everyone to make sure you have coverage of some point. We have done and come so far, but to really achieve our potential in the Commonwealth, we got to get a little bit healthier, and that's good for all of us. All right, this week's Team Kentucky All-Stars are the Kentucky State Police Sexual Assault Kit Initiative team. Here with me today are two members of that team, Detective Janet Barnett and Site Coordinator Kelly Wells. Last week, KSP announced that the team solved a sexual assault, y'all can come up, solved a sexual assault cold case from 2005. In January of 2005, a 17-year-old victim reported to Louisville Metro Police Department that she'd been kidnapped at gunpoint and raped. DNA evidence was entered, but unfortunately, no match was identified at the time. But these folks don't give up. 2 decades later, because of grant funding received by the U.S. Department of Justice, KSP and LMPD were able to conduct additional DNA testing, and the perpetrator has now been charged, and the process of bringing justice to the victim has finally begun. The KSP Sexual Assault Kit Initiative team was formed in 2021 to solve cases just like this one after the United States Department of Justice awarded the Commonwealth $1.5 million to leverage existing resources within the KSP Crime Lab by transitioning investigators and a criminal intelligence analyst from the Office of the Attorney General. The team was awarded another $2.5 million last October to expand and enhance data collection. This grant was the second largest award in Kentucky history from the DOJ's Bureau of Justice Assistance. It shows how important it is what they do, because no one should have to wait for justice for decades, especially after being violated in the way this 17-year-old and sadly far too many people across our country are. But thanks to critical funding, the KSP Sexual Assault Kit Initiative is bringing justice and some level of peace to victims and families. They're creating a new Kentucky home where our children don't have to fear this heinous crime, and given the number of perpetrators that are serial perpetrators, it makes sure that we catch folks that might offend again and ensure there aren't other victims out there. So to the team, thank you. Thank you for this incredible work. Thank you for this incredible result. And what I'd ask from the Commonwealth is keep it up. We need you, and thank you for being this week's Team Kentucky All-Stars. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right. With that, I will now open it up to questions. We've got a couple journalists that are here with us, and then some on the line. We'll start with Tom Latek.
Thank you, Governor. I had something the other day from the Pew Charitable Trust. They're talking about the American Rescue Plan state and local recovery fund,
Mhm.
and the fact that it has to be obligated by the end of the year or it's use it or lose it. How much money does Kentucky get from that fund? And is there any that we're going to have to worry about getting clawed back?
Yeah, so right now, I believe that we have obligated all of our ARPA funds. For instance, our Cleaner Water Program was funded through ARPA. We had to get certain agreements done by the end of this year, or they would have been at risk, and we now have all of them finished. That was a lot of work. Our county judges and others chipped in to make sure we got it done. We have several other programs that went through ARPA, but at least the information that I have right now is that we have used substantially all, if not the report that I have right now, is we've obligated all of it. Carolina.
Governor, you said more than 11 billion has been invested by Toyota now. In your words, what kind of a transformation has this led to here in the state? And as far as this new facility goes, are we talking about new jobs or just like restructuring and stuff like that?
So Toyota's first, their location in 1986. My dad was lieutenant governor. I remember being a kid when then Mr. Toyota, the chairman, had come in. It's one of the most important parts in our history as a Commonwealth, especially for our economy. What it did in terms of exposure to the world, in terms of 10,000 plus jobs that are there, having the first North American facility, first American facility for Toyota, and still the largest that they keep investing in, is incredible. I don't know that we'd have Blue Oval SK if it wasn't for us showing through Toyota and through our Ford plants that we can do this in Kentucky. And then to just keep investing and keep investing when that doesn't happen in all of the factories from various large companies around the world. This investment isn't coming directly with new jobs. They announced in the last one how many part-time jobs or contract jobs they were going to make permanent. But what this is going to do is create a high-tech paint facility that is going to have employment, likely for already existing employees, but knowing that that employment would be able to continue. Whereas if it was in an outdated facility, for instance, it wouldn't. But when you have, I mean, when you fly over the Toyota facility, it's massive. Or when you drive past it, it's just massive, and it requires these continuous updates and just the confidence that $940 million shows in Kentucky is pretty special. And I got to hear it straight from actually the son of Mr. Toyota, who met with my dad, who I got to meet with personally in Tokyo, which was real special. Doesn't always happen. They believe in our Commonwealth, and they've certainly shown it. All right, with that, we'll go to Lisa Autry on the line. If we still have Lisa. Not seeing Lisa. How about Isaiah from WHAS?
Hi, Governor. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Amazing. I have two questions. I have two questions for you, very different topics, so bear with me. First, I wanted to get your comment specifically. The Department of Corrections Commissioner was asked many questions with regards to the gender transition treatment being done in jails across the state. I mean, do you have any comment, one, on some of the responses we're hearing from the Republican Party? And two, Louisville announced today they're entering in a consent decree with the Department of Justice. I wanted to get your take on that.
Well, I haven't had a chance to review the consent decree. I know it's supported by both the mayor and the police chief, both of whom I have confidence in, both of whom seem committed to trying to get it right. As it relates to the other topic, federal law, and it's a law called PREA, requires many of the practices in the draft regulation that the commissioner was testifying about. And I recognize that LGBTQ inmates may be at a higher risk for violence than other inmates. However, convicted felons do not have the right to have any and all medical surgeries paid for entirely by tax dollars, especially when it would exceed the type of coverage available to law-abiding citizens in the private sector. So I do not support all of that draft regulation. It has been pulled for review. And what's important here is a request for an opinion has been sent to the Attorney General, because we've got some circuit rulings that are right below the Supreme Court that says, yes, you have to provide certain health care to certainly all of our inmates, but specifically to transgender inmates. And then there are just a couple of U.S. district court cases that say in that jurisdiction, and some of them are being appealed, that we may or may not have to provide gender reassignment surgery. I don't believe that should be provided, because again, that would mean an inmate was receiving better coverage and health care than a law-abiding citizen. So we'll wait to get that opinion back. And in the end, we've got an obligation to follow the law and to follow federal law. So we'll have more updates as we get that additional information. Liam Niemeyer.
Hi, Governor. I just had a couple additional questions about the topic you were just discussing. It's my understanding that the policies were adopted via memo, dating back to 2021 and then updated in 2023. I was wondering if you had an understanding of the reasoning behind the policies and how they were developed over the years, whether it was being updated due to these ongoing court decisions or litigation that's been playing out. And also, just more specifically to Republican concerns, one of the concerns is questioning, I guess, the timing of when this letter being sent to the Attorney General requesting a legal opinion was done. If you could address specifically that.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
The Department of Corrections is just trying to get this right under federal law, and it appears at least a little unclear to me of what's required under federal law. So for Republican lawmakers to get upset that we're going to a Republican Attorney General to try to get an opinion there on what is required, that seems a little silly, and it seems like just wanting to pick a fight and argue instead of to say, let's work together, let's figure out what's required, let's figure out what's reasonable. It's trying to find common ground, middle of the road, common sense approach to an issue we're talking about. And to me, some of this has less to do with how someone may see their gender identity, and more to do with the level of health care and expense between a law-abiding citizen and one of our state inmates, because if you are in one of our prisons, then you have likely committed an A, B, or maybe a C level felony. As to guidance or guidelines, as a governor of a state that's got about a $17 billion budget and 30+ thousand employees, I hadn't seen those. I certainly believe that the Department of Corrections, looking at different case law, looking at guidance that's been updated, and this was a process that started under Governor Bevin. A lot of these changes started under Governor Bevin, and what they were trying to do there is just what the Department of Corrections is doing, is satisfying that federal law, because there are a lot of penalties if you don't. We'll move to Sylvia Goodman, Louisville Public Media.
Hello, Governor. I know you just said that you haven't had a chance to review the DOJ consent decree in depth, but it includes an expedited 5-year timeline, which is much faster than usual, and self-assessment components from LMPD. I'm just curious if you believe that it will be sufficient to resolve civil rights violations within the department.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, reviewed it. Talking about whether it'd be sufficient without doing that, I can't comment on. I do believe that the mayor wants to get this right. I believe that the current police chief wants to get this right, but to give my opinion on whether it'd be sufficient, I need to read it. And finally, Austin Horn from the Herald Leader.
Hey, thank you, Governor. I was curious with your discussion about taxes earlier in the homestead exemption, if you believe that lawmakers should, as they currently plan to do, cut the income tax again from 4% to 3.5%. What's your kind of take on that as of now?
Yeah, I believe that in this session, we'll want to look at all the most recent data, but I believe an additional tax cut will be appropriate, because I believe a lot of the recent revenue information is about a pass-through entity tax that was a big positive before and now is a negative, but will ultimately balance itself out. We can get you the information on that. Now, after this one, moving forward, we'll really see if it meets the guardrails that are set up by the General Assembly. One concern that I have is, while I'm glad there are guardrails, the train only moves one direction, right? And at some point, we will hit a point where we can't provide the services that people expect from government if we lose too much revenue. But I believe with our booming economy, that this next income tax cut is something we can do and still provide the services that are out there. All right, that's it for this Team Kentucky update. We'll see you guys next week, and then we will take a break for Christmas and for New Year's. So everybody out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Everybody stay safe.